Rob Papen's Explorer 10 is a massive bundle of synthesizers and effects. I think there are 34 plugins in this bundle, plus some additional ones, plus a couple of freebies. So in this video, I'm going to do my best to take you through most of the plugins, show you a little bit of what they can do, and play some demos so you can hear what they do as well. Now, when I think about the synths in this collection, I think of Rob Papen as the synthesist's synthesist. I think I got that out in one go. If you like synthesizers, I think you will love these. These are synthesizers for the synthesist. I will sort of sum up and round up with a list of pros and cons. I will, of course, discuss pricing. I will tell you, in my opinion, how I think this bundle might be for, and possibly who it might not be for. You can buy all these plugins individually. You don't have to buy the bundle. And I will give you my top, I don't know how many, I'll give you my top plugins from the bundle. So if you only want one or two, I will give you my take on the individual plugins. So if that sounds good, there's a lot to get through. So grab a cup of your favourite beverage and let's get started. And we'll start with Rob Papen. He is the man behind the synthesizers. I actually got in touch with support and asked them how many people actually work there, and they said 3. So it is a relatively small, shall we say, boutique music software developer. The company is based in the Netherlands, and Rob Papen has been making software musical instruments for many years. And as the number of instruments increased, he put them together in bundles. And as you can tell from the name, we are now up to bundle number 10. So you want to know what's in them and what they sound like? Let's head over to the Music Machine and find out. So these are all the Rob Papen plugins, and I'm showing them and using them in complete control. And no, they should sponsor me, but they don't. If you select brand and then select one of the brands, selected Rob Papen, then only instruments from that company will appear. And if you count them, there are 19 synthesizers here from Rob Papen. And these are the presets. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see there are over 37,000 presets. That is a lot. That is all the presets from all the synthesizers. One of the reasons I like Complete Control, I've made several videos about them. You will know I'm a big fan. It's free. So let's have a look at some of the synthesizers. I am going to be a little bit selective, but I'm going to try to give you a flavor of what they are, what they look like, what they do. I'm going to start with Albino 3. And this is one of his first plugins, made, I believe, for Reason initially. It's under version 3, and he ported it to the VST format. And the latest version of Explorer, Explorer 10, has included some new presets. So this is the interface. You might be able to hear that is in stereo. It's a little bit typical of the interface in many of the synths, not all of them. We'll look at a few more. There are a lot of controls. You get a lot of control over each of the synthesizers. The interface, yes, it does look a little bit dated, can we say that? It doesn't have all the flashy, smooth graphics of some synthesizers, but all the knobs and controls are functional, and I think that's probably the point, although it is nice to look at something which is nice. So let's get back to Complete Control, because it is far easier to skip through the presets in Complete Control. Just try one or two. He likes his arpeggios. So this has four layers, and you can combine them in many different ways. It's It's very synthy. What can I say? All of these are very synthy. Well, some are more synthy than others. So there's a synthy brass sound. You can create all your usual synthy type sounds with most of these, actually, or certainly a lot of them. Okay, let's have a look at bit 2. This stands for back in time. This is a synth based on analog modeling. Oh yes, I love that. Anyway, it is sort of modular, and there's a mod matrix down here, and you can sort of patch the different sections together. You get a list, so I've just gone off the screen, I think, possibly. You can select the different inputs and outputs and create your own sounds. So that is what BIT is about. This is Blade 2. And it combines waveform harmonics using the harmulator, and you can morph between them with the XY pad. Many of the Rob Papen plugins have an XY pad. And you can record the movement of the pad to create interesting morphing sound effects. And if you have Cubase, you can control the XY pad with Cubase modulators. I made a little video showing you how to do that. Very useful if you use Rob Papen plugins, because there are a lot of XY pads in his collection. So this combines sort of waveform harmonics using the harmoniulator or something, which you can morph between. Let's try a couple of other sounds. Interesting use of the XY pad. Oh, someone had fun making that, didn't they? Anyway, that's Blade 2. Let's press on. This is Blue 3, and it is one of my favourite synths in the collection, and I will tell you why in a moment. But that is the first preset, and I'm only holding down one key. And if you have been listening to some of my pieces of music, I actually use this preset almost as it is in a piece of music. I shall link to that in the description if I can find it. But that is just one. Let's try some other presets. Lots of movement in this, bouncing over the stereo image. These are just one notes I'm holding down, and a lot of the synths have built-in arpeggiators. So this uses a combination of subtractive synthesis, FM, and I think they added waveforms and an XY pad in Blue 3. As you might guess from the name, there have been 3 iterations of this particular plugin. If we go back to Complete Control, you can see that there are nearly 5,000 presets. So a lot of sounds to play with. I'm going through just about every one of them. I'm going to have to skip one or two. This is one of my favourites. Let's have a look at this. It is power chords. And as you might guess from the name, it creates power chords. And ever so often in pieces of music I write, I've come to a point and I thought, what I need here is a power chord, really, that is absolutely true. And here it is, and I think this was introduced in
Explorer 9, and if you already had the Explorer 9 bundle when this was released, you got this for free.
So this was in 9, it is now in 10. So let's try some of the other patterns. Someone sent the wah-wah pedal out. It's bouncing over stereo. More simple. Heavy. Anyway, there you go. If you need some power chords for your music, this is a super plugin. Lots of options, many controls, different types of guitars you can select from as well. This is Predator 3. Very synthy. Very big synthy sound. And some smaller synthy sounds. I'm surprised I haven't used that in one of my pieces. Some softer sounds as well. Okay, so this has, let's get back to complete control. This has over 7,000 presets, and it does a form of hybrid synthesis, as many of his plugins do. They combine different types of synthesis, and Predator and Blue are two of my favourite plugins because, I shall tell you why.
I'm taking a quick break from the music machine to tell you why I like Blue 3 and Predator 3 so much. Now, my first exposure to the Rob Papen synthesis family was with Exclusive 4. So that was 8-10 years ago. Now, they were NKS compatible then. So while I was searching for particular sounds and types of sounds within Complete Control, Blue, it wasn't Blue 3, I think it was Blue 2, might even have been Blue 1 or Predator 2 or Predator 1, but they kept popping up with sounds that I was looking for, and they have featured in many of my pieces of music. They just seem to contain many sounds which I like and which I have used. That is why I like these plugins. Let's get back to it.
So this is Raw 2. Oh, Ratchet. Love stuff like that. So this was developed in conjunction with some EDM producers and is designed specifically for EDM. He said laughingly. Ooh. And as you can hear, there's some really edgy, hard-edged sounds here, ideal for EDM, but also for lots of different types of electronic music. Now, some of these, yes, they have distortion. I hope this is not distorting my audio system. I hope this is the distortion coming from the plugin. Scroll through and try a few. Very hard edge. So as well as Raw 2, you get the original Raw and also Raw Kick, which
is there to help you create your own kick drums. And if you are a kick drum creator, you will know that many kick drums are created using several layers, a transient and a sub layer and a body layer, and this is designed to help you do that. I have to mention this one very quickly. This is another guitar plugin, but it's a strumming guitar. And I think this is a little bit out of the ordinary. It's not the sort of plugin I would expect normally from Rob Papen, full of synthesizers, hybrid synths of all sorts. But if you do not have a strumming guitar plugin, there is one here for you. So I'm playing those notes. So you can play major on minor chords depending on which octave you're playing. That's major. And that's minor. So you can create little arrangements using strummed guitar sounds. So I had to mention this because I think it's slightly different, and if you do not already have a strummy guitar plugin, it is definitely worth looking at. Here's another very colourful plugin, which was also one of my favourites, and this also used to pop up in my searches. Sub Boom Bass 2, which is a development of Sub Boom Bass 1. And yes, it produces very low and boomy sometimes bass sounds. So you don't have to use them just for bass sounds, but there are loads of different bass sound variations. If you want a big bass or a subby bass or just an electronic bass of some sort. So again, this kept popping up in my searches, so this is one which I have used many times. And this is Synths or something like that, and this is one of the new ones, new to 10, and this is essentially a riser and faller and hit sort of creator. You can see what's going on here in this little pitch envelope graphic thing. So it's the sort of thing it is. Yeah, some of these they're quite long. So risers and hits, there are other synths and sample libraries which do this, widely used in movies and film scores and stuff like that, but also very useful in electronic music. I think these are all going to give. You can see what's happening to the pitch in this little display. I mean, these would just fit in any electronic piece of music very well, I think. Some more than others, perhaps. But spacey sound, that sounds very spacey to me. You could write a science fiction score using this. Anyway, so this is one of the new ones. And this is the last of the synths and the last one I'm going to look at. And this is Wire Pluck. And this was also new to 10. And as you can guess from the name, it creates plucked sounds. But the idea is not to create pluck sounds from acoustic instruments, but to create electronic pluck sounds. It has several layers, and one of them is a wire layer from which it gets its name, and this creates the sound of a wire being plucked. Bit of a twang. So great for arpeggiators and the like if you were creating space ambient or electronic music or Berlin school type music. Super sounds here. Great. Right. Let's have a look at some of the effects. So I'm just going to use one or two of the effects. Most of the synthesizers, I think all of them actually have built-in effects, so you may not feel the need to explore any other effects. Most DAWs have a range of effects, so look upon these as extras and icing on the cake. And there are one or two very interesting ones here, so again, worth checking out. So this is the delay. I'm just using the pluck sound from wired pluck, so it's pretty dry. It's just a plucky sound, so we can see what the different effects do. Okay, so this is a delay. What do you think it does? It delays. Now, one weird thing, I just have to point this out. The delay seems to have a delay between me pressing the key and the effect kicking in. I don't know if that's by design. I suspect it may be. So it's sort of turning a pluck into a strum guitar. So this is an interesting one. Have to show you this one. This is RP reverse, and as you can tell from the name, it reverses the sound. Listen to this. So you can see what's happening on the screen here. This is really cool, really interesting. You would need to do some clever sort of bouncing to audio and reversing the audio and doing things like that to get these sort of effects. Thank you. So this is really cool. It's a really interesting and I think original effect. There are probably other reverse effects as well, but there you go. This is a nice one. So this is a reverb sound, as you can hear, and there are two reverbs in the collection. So just to remind you of the original sound, added the reverb tail to that. So some of them, it seems to cut the initial transient off a little bit. So it turns the pluck into a sort of fluty sound. So it's reverb plus effects. Let's have a look at one more. This is low sane, which produces lo-fi tape effects. It's turned it into a bass guitar. Oh, sub bass, listen to that. So this is G above middle C. That's C way down the keyboard. Don't know if you'll be able to hear that. So I should really be playing something with a bit more content through this, but it's just to let you see what it is and what it can do. One more. This is Del Sane, another delay effect. So this has this thing moving about which is called the disrupt sphere. So you can adjust it and see how it affects the sound. I'm going to do one more effect. Yes, honestly, the last one. And that is RP Pan. And as you can guess from the name, it is a panner. And hopefully you will be able to hear that quite clearly bouncing between the extreme left and right sides of the stereo field. That's limited the width. I think that was a bit of an abrupt cut. I shall speak severely to the editor. But to be fair, I try to give you a flavour of most of the plugins in the bundle, but we'd be here till Christmas, or next Christmas even, if I tried to cover all of them in any sort of detail. But hopefully you get an idea of what they are, what they look like, what they can do, what they sound like. So let's see who this bundle might be for and who it might not be for. And we'll start with the price. The price of the total bundle is £395. Now on the website, the products are priced in dollars/euros, which I think is a little bit odd and a little bit unfair to anyone who has a slight exchange advantage. However, when I tried to purchase this, the price came up in pounds. That's for the complete bundle. I was actually purchasing an upgrade, and the upgrade pricing is a little bit more involved. If you have Explorer 9 and want to upgrade to 10, that is €74 or dollars. If you have 6, 7 or 8, that costs $99 or euros. And if you have an earlier version, that is $149 or euros. Now there are a lot of UK and US and international resellers, so I shall link to a page where you can check out your own country's resellers, and you might possibly be able to save a few pounds from that, or indeed a few pounds or dollars or euros from individual products if you would rather buy just one or two. Now, just to give you an idea of the price of the individual products, some of the less expensive ones are about $25 or euros, and I think the most expensive ones are $149. So really, if you are considering buying 2 or 3 or more of the individual products, particularly the more expensive synthesizers, it is probably worthwhile looking at the entire bundle, which works out a lot cheaper. So if you want to work out the VFM on a per plugin basis, it works out at less than 12 Great British pounds per plugin, which is around about $15. Hopefully all that makes sense. So who might this bundle appeal to, and who might benefit from it and who might not? Well, as I hope you have heard and gathered and understood, these are synthesizers, so anyone who makes electronic music, I think, would be very interested in them. Now, I did call Rob Papen the synthesist. That's the second time I got that right, straight off the bat. So if you like synthesizers and synthesis and electronic music, I think this is right up your street. I think you will love these instruments. If you produce hybrid music combining orchestral sounds and sample libraries with electronic music, then I think this is a good fit for that as well. If you're producing mainly orchestral scores, then however, there is also the consideration of overlap. If you already have one of the big bundles, let's say the Arturia V collection or Native Instruments Complete collection, you might feel that there is a bit of an overlap. Now, most of Arturia's synths are recreations of classic instruments. Rob Papen's are totally unique, although they do use forms of synthesis which you may or may not be familiar with, and they put them together in very interesting ways. Native instruments, they sort of tend to do their own thing, although they do have some biggies like Massive and Massive X and FM8, plugins like that. So you might feel that there is a bit of a synthy overlap. Now the good news is you can actually get a demo of most, if not all, of these instruments if you want to try them out, see how you get on with them, and you can then make a decision whether they are going to fit in with your music or not. Now I said I would give you a list of my top picks, and you probably know what 3 of them are anyway. If I could only have one, it would undoubtedly be Blue 3. If I could have 2, that would include Predator 3. My third choice is a bit more difficult. I have used the Sub Boom Bass 2 in many productions, but I also really like the new Wire Pluck. I am looking forward to trying this out with various arpeggios and perhaps putting it through Stepic. Stepic, the software sync. Made a video about that if you want to check it out. It's awesome. And I'm sorry, but I have to throw in Blade 2 for some slightly off-the-wall synthesis sounds. And the last one, yes, honest, I have to include power chords. I just think the sounds it produces, the little riffs it plays, I just think they are fantastic. I just sit playing power chords for ages. Now, if you want more information about any of these instruments, there are 2 good resources, obviously both by Rob Papen. That is the website, which of course is linked below. Now, this is not sponsored, there are no affiliate links. I'm just telling you what I think of the collection, which I bought with my own money. He also has a YouTube channel, which I shall also link to, and there is a massive amount of information about individual synthesizers on the channel. So if you want more information, go and check that out. So thank you for watching so far. Do let me know, were you previously aware of Rob Papen and his synthesizers? I'd be interested to know how wide his fame has spread. Let me know what you think of the instruments. Let me know if you have any. Let me know what you think of them. I'm gonna go and play it with a Wire Pluck and see what interesting arpeggio sounds I can make with it. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it interesting and informative. See you in the next one.